Hey guys, still here. Time to start up a new series in Cold Waters, and you guys voted en masse to use the Alpha. Now, here's the backstory of this campaign. Although tensions with the West had lessened after the fall of the Soviet Union, terrorism within Russia, the continuing expansion of NATO, and the continuing US involvement in the Middle East leads to Russian forces launching a devastating surprise attack across the Polish border. Central Europe is plunged into war. Resupply convoys from the US are crucial to the NATO war effort and must be stopped if Russia is to win in Europe. Commander, Northern Fleet assigns you to the Norwegian Sea and North Atlantic in an attempt to control the situation at sea. Russia has the advantage that NATO has not practiced reforger plans in over a decade. Russia must keep the initiative. Let's start our new campaign. I'm going to go with, as you guys voted on, the Alpha. Now the Alpha is an interesting boat. It is really fast. It can go 42 knots, which means that it will not quite be able to outrun the Mark 48 AdCap, but it can definitely keep ahead of it for a decent period of time. I can also go to a very deep end of the sea. My test depth is 2,000 feet. I have not encountered that depth in many of the areas that I have entered in the past, well, basically all the hours that I have spent in this game. We have two different weapon systems on board this submarine, which is a little bit limited. We have the USET-80 torpedoes. Now these things have a range of 22,000 yards and they run at 40 knots with a top speed of 50 knots. And then we have the SSN-16s. These things are standoff torpedoes, so torpedoes mounted on a cruise missile. They have a range of 55,000 yards, so they're a lot faster, and that's mostly the rocket part of it. And then they maneuver at 251 knots, so they're really quick, but their seeker cone is smaller and their payload is smaller. I don't think I'm going to be using a lot of those SSN-16s. I'm probably going to be using the USET-80s mostly. This does mean that I do not have any anti-ship missiles, and that can be a bit of an annoyance if I'm to intercept surface ships, but I hope I can offset that disadvantage by using that extreme speed of the boat at 42 knots. Now before I go into this, let me show you the difficulty setting. Let's go all the way up to Elite. I was running the previous campaign at Realistic. I'm going to go with this one at Elite. Accept. Right, campaign 2004 Russia. Start that up. And we are picking, where are you? Alpha class. We are in command of the RFN Gepard K205. Let's see what the story is here. Terrorist attacks Russia. 2 airliners destroyed. Can't have that. What else happened? Mission accomplished. Is the war in Iraq truly won? So this is probably what they were pissed about. Russia protests the expansion of NATO. Yes, I can understand how they would feel threatened by that. Now, the Russians shot down a civilian airliner. That's interesting. I thought that civilian airliners were getting shot down and that Russia said, hey, those are our planes. Those are our airlines that you shot down. And here we go. Russian army and Spetsnaz deployed in Ukraine. They are not going to take kindly to that. And there's the explosions at the Kremlin. 23 dead, 32 wounded. I wonder what sort of missions I'm going to be doing. Russia invades Poland and the Baltic states were declared. Stanifor land ambushed. NATO loses at sea. This is what we saw previous at the start of the 2004 NATO campaign as well. Here we go. Recent Soviet port activity indicates that a wolf pack of enemy cruise missile submarines will sail from Holy Loch, oh interesting, within the next 2 to 4 days and likely attempt to transit the Denmark Strait, after which they will likely interdict naval ops in the Greenland Sea. Be advised, enemy SSGNs are likely to be escorted by 1 or more attack submarines. Let's go hunting. What do we have for weaponry? We can transport 25. That's not a whole lot. That's a pretty small boat, isn't it? Oh, we do have 2 mobile submarine simulators, by the looks of it. I'm not going to go with these things. I don't think that they are too useful. I want to have the biggest capacity of torpedoes that I can carry. Alright, spent 8 hours in port. Long enough for me. Let's get underway. And we're starting off from our base at Murmansk. So, these guys are going to be coming through Holy Lock and then through the Denmark Strait. Is that real? Transit the Denmark Strait after... Okay. I don't know, I never really took that much of a detour when I was playing the campaign as the Western forces, but sure. We can speed our way here. Avoid the ASW air patrols that they're using. And go lie in wait in the Denmark Strait here. Let's see if those NATO boats want to come out and play. I wonder what sort of boats we're going to be facing as well. That's going to be an interesting new area that we haven't quite explored in this game yet, because as of recording this video there is no Russian campaign. I don't trust this. It doesn't make sense. Within the next 2 to 4 days. So they should already be underway. Attempt to transit the Denmark Strait. I'm not sure if this part of the mission briefing is accurate. Because here's why. This is something that is usually in mission briefings if the Russians are trying to break out into the North Atlantic. The Western forces can just sail from Holy Lock immediately through the Norwegian Sea to the Barents Sea. And according to this, they're going to be hunting in the Greenland Sea. So why would you go like that towards the Greenland Sea? Holy crap, there's a lot of submarines operating there. Oh, wow. We're going to have some work to do here. Let's switch to... Bloody hell, there's another one? Whatever happened to me being the only NATO submarine out here? Okay, we have contact with a group. I managed to slow down to 5 knots. Very weak surface duct, so that's fine. No thermal layers. We have a new contact bearing 191. Designate Sierra 1. Now, let's meet the Gepard. Right, 6 torpedo tubes. That's a nice change from the 8. The sonar screen's completely Russian. Bloody hell. My color blindness does not appreciate these displays. Anyway, we have a contact bearing 191, so that's southwest. Let's turn a little bit towards the west. Now I wonder... Yep, we now have the identifications coming up for NATO subs. Not everything is a picture. There's Seawolf. Jesus Christ, 75 decibels. Oh my. So that's what we were using previously. Virginias are significantly louder at 90 decibels. They're still very quiet, but they are making more noise. We have the Ohios, Ohio SSGNs, and Nimitz. I would love to sink one of those. The Arleigh Burke, not quite spelled properly. Spruance, Perry, Trafalgar, Swiftsure, Upholder, Type 42, that's the British boats. Type 23, the Ula. I'm not familiar with this type. The Oslo, the Hawk, US cargo, merchants, large merchant, fast merchants, military transports, tankers, fast combat sport ship, fleet small oiler, a Yellowstone. What the hell is that? It looks like an armed freighter. Austin, Newport, US trawler, Typhoon. Okay, so this thing transfers into the identifications for the Russian boats. Now we are... Holy hell. We're not very quiet, are we? We are twice as noisy if sound travels on a standard linear scale, which I'm not sure about, at 142 decibels. What we're hunting, if it is seawolf, is going to be so incredibly quiet that we might not hear it. That's something that I'm pretty concerned about. We might not hear it. We'll stop.
Make turns for 0 knots. Maneuvering aye.
I hope that just by floating around, we can try and catch these guys unawares. Let's go down a bit. I do like the look of the boat. It's real sleek. It's gonna have to be if it wants to do 42 knots. I just need to paint that shark beak with that shark. What do you call that, shark mouth? I don't know. You know what I mean, the drawing of the shark in front of the boat.
5 knots. Maneuvering aye.
Now, do I have a towed array?
Passing 100 feet.
Oh my. I do not have a towed array. Well, this just got a lot more interesting. Because without a towed array, all I have to go on is my own sensors. The sensors mounted on this alpha. And of course we're running it on realistic, so it's going to be more complex, a lot more difficult than the previous playthrough. Okay.
Con sonar new contact bearing.
Oh, hello.
4 0 designated Sierra.
You just made a
1.
mistake, Sunshine. Let's see.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 1 last bearing.
Okay,
2,
so that didn't
4,
last long.
1 contact faded. Con sonar lost
There he is.
contact. Sierra 1
He's
last bearing 2 4 2 contact faded.
he's popping up every now and then.
Passing 200 feet.
I'm thinking that we may have to start using this thing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We have been detected. Torpedo in the water. Snapshot, return fire. Active tube 1. Active tube 2. Cut the wires. Reload. Increase the flank. Go deep.
Make turns for 4. Con sonar. We are
So we are already getting detected. Holy shit, I hope that we can at least scare off that boat by the 2 torpedoes that I sent in return. Those snapshots. Rudder amidships. Go down, down, down. Get outside the seeker cone. Mark 48 out cap is no joke. We're still cavitating.
Passing
500 feet.
Passing 600 feet.
600. 700.
Passing 700 feet.
Con sonar no longer cavitating.
Yeah, not a moment too soon.
Passing 900 feet.
Normally I'd be getting a bit worried at this depth, but the Alpha can take it.
Passing 1100 feet.
Holy shit.
Passing 1200.
Con sonar. Torpedo in the water. Torpedo in the
He
water.
acquired.
Bearing 2 4 2.
Passing 1400 feet.
We're doing 39 knots. Holy shit, that's fast.
Con knuckle formed.
Why is that torpedo not actually interested in the knuckle? Well, because the knuckle was not formed in an adequate location. How deep is it here? 1900 feet. Let's knuckle up.
Con knuckle formed.
Torpedo lost us. For now. This one seems to have found something. It's slightly changing its course. Ever so gently.
Con maneuvering. Making turns for 4 2 knots.
We have a torpedo in the water again. The Mark 48 has reacquired. It looks like the other torpedo might not actually be doing anything yet. Alright, zigzag. Form a knuckle.
Con, knuckle formed.
Done. What way is the torpedo going to turn? So I'm going to try and outrace it. He's going right, I'm going left. Now I was, as far as I know, not making any mistakes.
Knuckle formed.
It's just that these boats are hella noisy. 142 decibels, get out of here. What's the sound profile for one of the other boats? Let's say we're dealing with in Los Angeles. 125, Flight 2 115, Flight 3 105. So these NATO boats have a significant advantage. I'm going to have to get quite aggressive with these things if I want to try and win. Something blew up. Yeah, that would probably be my original torpedo. Come right. Torpedo has once again reacquired.
Con, knuckle formed.
Knuckled up. My biggest defensive asset is the speed that I can get this guy up to.
Con, knuckle formed.
Let's see if we can escape by going shallower.
100 feet.
We're shedding depth like crazy.
1,400 feet.
1300. 1200. Nope, torpedo's not being fooled.
Con, knuckle formed. Passing 1,200 feet.
I must be making a crap ton of noise racing through the water like this. Come on, Mark 48, when are you going to run out of fuel? Because I'm about to run out of distance.
1,300 feet.
Now I see how deadly those Mark 48s can be.
Con, knuckle formed.
Come on.
Con, knuckle formed.
Keep swinging that boat around.
Passing 1,400 feet. Passing 1,500 feet. Passing 16.
I'm not sure if a torpedo has a crush depth. I don't think so. My torpedo seems to be quite happily snaking through the water without having detected the target. Shit. So that's no use.
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra.
Oh, actually, we got him.
Bearing 266. Contact breaking up.
We got him. Whatever that was. We killed it. I'm actually very interested in seeing what we killed. So, once I ditch this torpedo, I'm gonna head over there and see if I can get a sound profile to see what exactly we're dealing with. In order to do so, I would need to go on a course of about 244, 245, something like that. This Mark 48 is relentless, though. I cannot even imagine the terror of being chased by multiple of these.
Con, knuckle formed.
Torpedo's still closing, come
Con,
on.
knuckle formed.
He's not acquired me, but he's about to come back.
Con, knuckle formed.
There's another knuckle. He's reacquired. He just ran into the other knuckle.
Con, knuckle formed.
Our course is now 144. I'm trying to get the course towards that Sierra 1 that we just sunk. Whatever the hell that was. I'm still hearing an active ping. I don't like that at all. That could be my torpedo. Could be an enemy boat. I think it might be my torpedo, which I had set to run active. Let's do a preventative knuckle here, because I expect that torpedo to start coming back. Yep, it's reacquired. Oh, if this is anything to say about the rest of the campaign, then we're going to be running away from torpedoes a lot, because they can, and they, I mean the enemy boats, can detect me far, far sooner than I can detect them.
Knuckle formed.
I wonder, what is the sound profile if I were to use a kilo? If I were to use a non-nuclear boat? Kilo, 125. That's a bit better than the Alpha. A Tango, 132. We're still not exactly quiet in one of those boats, but at least
Knuckle formed.
it's slightly better than what we're using now. What's the quietest boat that the Russians have? 132, 125. Definitely not on November. 110 for Sierra 2. 107 for the Akula 2. Now we're getting somewhere. See, this one at least has a towed ray. The Alpha does not. Yeah, I think that the Akulas... Yeah, the Akulas are the quietest boats that we have available. And even then, Seawolf beats them by a country mile. Jesus Christ. When is this torpedo going to run out? I know that torpedoes can chase you for a pretty long time, but this is a bit longer than I was hoping for.
Knuckle formed.
Come to think of it, I would not want to be in an electric boat or a diesel electric boat in this situation. Because if I would be in a kilo, then they would probably have detected me all the same. But I would only be able to make 25 knots. Which means that I would not be likely to avoid the torpedo at all. Come on.
Knuckle formed.
Here we go. Just in time. Keep swinging. It's like I'm wagging my tail at this torpedo. I gotta say, after Seawolf, this thing feels a bit like a sports car.
Knuckle formed.
At 42 knots. Boom! Alright, the hull's intact. Reloading these torpedo tubes takes forever, though. That probably has to do with the amount of realism that we now have. Alright, I am going to run with the assumption that this is the only enemy boat that they had out here. Otherwise we would probably be seeing more torpedoes in the water. So we're going to race towards Sierra 1. Try and identify what we're dealing with. And let's go a little bit shallower than our 1670 feet that we were doing.
Passing 1500 feet.
That's better. 1460. Now, if there is anything else that wants to hurt us, by now it would have sent a small fleet of torpedoes coming our way. So I think we're fine. And those snapshots, that's what saved me. I'm gonna have to use snapshots a whole lot in this campaign if this is anything to show for the rest of it. Alright, let's slow down. Just coast.
Turns for 0 knots. Maneuvering eye.
It's gonna take a while for the sonar ray to clear up. Alright, now how close are we? To about 5,000 yards out. I still cannot hear the bastard.
Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering eye.
Now he's sunk, that much is obvious. But I'm approaching his position and I still don't know what it is. Normally you can identify them about at this range, even if they're dead. What I'm doing by just checking this out is sort of baselining what I'm facing. And now I can just probably evac the battle if I want to, but I don't want to just yet. Distance, 2,000 yards. I still have no idea what I'm facing.
Make turns for 0 knots. Maneuvering eye.
Active sonar.
Sonar, switching to active search. Make turns for 5 knots. Maneuvering eye.
For some reason I cannot even detect the guy. Now we can sustain 2,000 feet. That thing sunk at a maximum depth of 1,914.
1,600 feet. Passing 1,600 feet. Passing 1,700 feet.
That's still my sonar that you're hearing. I'm trying to get a reading on that enemy boat.
Sonar, switching to passive search.
Whatever it is, that thing is properly dead. Like, there is nothing left.
Make turns for 0 knots.
I think it just collapsed, imploded. Okay, well that was our first engagement. Leave. We sunk a Los Angeles Flight 2. Huh. Okay. Yeah, not your mission objective. You're already gonna get... Okay, the Order of the Red Banner. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action against enemies of the Soviet Union on 15 November 2004. You mean gallantly running away is what I did. Gallantly running off, trying to stay safe. That's pretty much what happened here. Yeah, I think we can do better than that. Anyway, I think that this is a nice place to end this episode. And the next episode we're going to continue the hunt for that guided missile group. I think that this campaign could be a lot of running away, alternated with snapshotting torpedoes. That could be a bit of the baseline, if this is anything to go by. The only indication that there was another boat nearby was that I initially ran into it, and then he started to make a ton of noise, which would mean that I have to snapshot him immediately. And I think that the increased difficulty is going to be an extra challenge, one that we did not have with the Seawolf. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you soon for the next episode. Thank you for watching.